Hi everyone. Today, let's talk about the biggest mistake companies make when creating glossaries. What is a glossary? It's an artifact for maintaining companies' business terminology, such as acronyms and definitions. It might include references to policies or procedures where these terms are defined, maybe governing documents, valid values, and possibly business and data owners. I've talked about the importance of glossaries and about its many goals. First of all, it's overall data governance, ensuring consistent understanding and use of business data. Glossaries support business process documentation because they help to define the roles, the terms, the triggers, the factors. Basically, any business diagram you create is much better understood if those labels used in the diagram are also defined in the glossary. Though they help to define data definitions, dimensions, and groupings that are necessary for reporting, for creating dashboard, and for all of the analytics requirements. And also, they're super helpful for onboarding new employees, just to help them catch up with company's lingo, and especially with acronyms. By the way, I'm talking about the glossary, which is like business data dictionary, but we can extend it and even discuss a data catalog. This is an extension of a glossary that includes technical metadata. For example, all the data elements, the systems where each data entity is maintained, data types, lineages, and even names of the tables and columns. Glossaries also become vital on projects. For example, if you are thinking of implementing an off-the-shelf software, you may have to do some gap analysis, and glossary will help you match company's terminology to the terminology of the product you're considering, and later that will also be needed for process and data mapping and for configuration. Anytime you have to do data mapping, for example, to support data migration or for any integration tasks, glossary entries can be used as source and target elements definitions. And finally, a glossary and its extension, a data catalog, is also needed for data warehousing and analytics initiatives. Now, let's get to the point of this video, the biggest glossary mistake organizations make. What do you think? What is your experience if you ever created a glossary or searched for one when you joined a new company? Of course, we can say that the biggest mistake is not even having a glossary, but that would be try to be, right? I want to go a step further. The biggest mistake is when different teams, different departments, different parts of organization create their own local glossaries. This solid approach is really harmful to the overall goal, because the goal is the quality of enterprise data. We are caring about how data moves across enterprise and how the understanding of data remains consistent. Just think about various cross-functional processes where multiple departments play a role. If they all have their own definitions for key concepts, that even the activities and how they store data may be out of sync. Sometimes the same labels in different operational systems or in different reports and dashboards can have a different meaning. That creates confusion, that creates data issues, and ultimately it may lead to bad customer service, bad products, or reduction in efficiency in the company. And that in turn, of course, may mean monetary losses for the company. I've seen examples where individuals would make up their own definitions for the terms they had to use in a user manual or in a training document or in the requirement specification, oblivious to all of the other definitions of the same terms that are already floating around the company or sit in another glossary. I've had a not very fun experience of comparing a pile of lists of terms that were wildly inconsistent, and even seemingly simple terms such as vendor, order date, customer, or overdue invoice can have different interpretations if you ask different departments. So the main objective of data governance is to govern data across the enterprise. And the main objective of a glossary and a data catalog is to provide consistent business definitions. And in a data catalog also technical metadata for all of the enterprise data. There should be a central glossary, validated and shared with all parts of the organization. There should be no problem then with extracting terms relevant to a particular training manual or process memo, as long as they all come from a central place. A central repository can even include a variety of tags and metadata that allow anyone to filter and get a subset of relevant terms for their own purposes. So what is the right way to do it? Let's run it through a quick checklist. First of all, a glossary is a foundation of your company's knowledge base. So it should be centralized and it should be accessible. You have to create it in a format that makes it easy to access for everyone. You shouldn't have to need special training just to search for terms in the glossary. You have to publish its location, its purpose, and instructions for using them, and instructions should be simple. You must publish and record who maintains it, how to reach them, and who to contact in case you have disagreements, conflicts, or questions. You must have a process for resolving terminology conflicts. What happens if two departments have different definitions of what is overdue invoice? Which body, which committee is going to figure it out and make an agreement and then record one consistent definition? You have to provide a quick tour for all new employees as part of the onboarding training so that they always know where to find those pesky acronyms so that they don't feel out of place when they start going to meetings. You also must ensure that all projects have access to it, and also that the projects have an obligation to make updates or contribute to changes to the glossary if that project is making certain changes to processes, products, or services that lead to required changes in the glossary. Now, who should be responsible? That will vary. If organization has a strong data governance capability, it has a data governance program, data governance committee, it should be a function of data governance. It could also be managed by a senior business analyst in a small organization or business analysis team. But it must be someone who cares about the quality of data and who cares about clarity of communication in the company. Some companies even designate someone from learning and development or a training team to manage the glossary, because those are the people who are responsible for maintaining the knowledge base of the enterprise and providing learning opportunities for everyone new who is joining so that everyone is properly onboarded and knows how to do their job. So what can you do? If you join a new company and it turns out that there's no glossary, start one, find people who will support you, share it, and show the value. Whether you're a business analyst or data analyst or project manager or product owner, anyone involved with projects and changes could be initiator of a glossary. Because as they say, data is everybody's business in companies these days. If you want to know how to create a glossary if you've never done one, go back to my previous video where I demonstrated a simple glossary template. I will provide a link in the comments. There is also a link to download my free glossary template in the comments. To recap, the main mistake companies make is not enforcing a centralized glossary and allowing multiple siloed mini glossaries float around without any governance and gather dust. Follow the tips I provided to do it the right way. Use a simple template that works for your company and you will see the benefits very soon. I'm Yulia Kosarenko. If you want to learn more about data management, fundamentals of analytics, and what business analysts, project managers, and other people working on enterprise change need to know about data and analytics, check out my Data Management and Analytics Fundamentals course. I will provide a link and a discount code. And until the next video, take care.